オカリン、今日ラボでクリスマスパーティーやるって言っておいたよね。ちゃんと覚えてる？
Mayuri's voice sounded really excited.
ああ、もちろん。
Of course she did. Mary had spent a lot of time preparing for this day. She was probably really looking forward to it.
どうかな？来られそう？
行くよ。6時からだろ？
うん。今、大学？
いや、和光市。知り合いの教授の研究室みたいなところにお邪魔してる。
和光市。
She had no idea where Wako City was, did she?
間に合う？
大丈夫だ。
よかった。待ってるね。
Her voice got fainter on the phone for a second, and I heard the other girls.
オカリンさん、女子全員でサンタコスして待ってます。待ってるにゃ。待ってます。
Oh, nice there. Oh yeah, she was at the party. Huh. I actually forgot that.
ほら、ルカ君も。
Oh. If this is going the direction that the anime did, we're gonna get some funny scenes with Nai soon, I bet.
僕は女子じゃ。ルカ君もコスプレしてるんですよ。すみません。脱ぎます。今すぐ脱ぎます。
Poor Luca.
あら、もったいない。すごく似合ってるのに。
盛り上がってるな。
今、絶賛準備中なのです。マユシーなんか超ミニスカのサンタさんでめちゃくちゃキュートなんですよ。ちなみにパンツの色はピンクでしたぜ。
Oh.
ふぶきちゃん何言ってるの？
Oh. You don't get me had the same reaction.
ごめんね、変な話して。とにかく待ってるからね。
ああ。
それじゃあ、また後でね。
And Mayuri went off to kill Fubuki. It sounded like the party had already begun at the lab. With all those girls there, I'm sure they were having a good time. Luca, you're the only guy. Hang in there. I chuckled and put away the phone.
ずいぶん賑やかだったわね。
It was Maho who spoke to me. Actually, only Maho and I were in the room.
今日、友達とクリスマスパーティーをやる予定なんだ。
ああ、そういえば、もうそんな時期なのね。
君はそういうのには無頓着そうだな。
こっちに来てからは特にね。普段はいつもここにいるし、最近会う人といえば警察の人ばかりだし。
I tried to force a laugh at Maho's joke and looked around the room. It was dead silent. The exact opposite of the noisy lab I just heard on the other side of the phone, in fact. Nothing had changed since the first time I'd come, which meant that it was still only Maho and Dr. Leskinen that were working here. And the professor had been meeting with different researchers all the time since he'd come to Japan, so he wasn't spending much time in the lab. Did that mean Maho was spending most of her time cooped up in here, alone? Well, that's normal for a scientist, I guess, but...
よかったら、ヒヤジョさんも参加するか？
After what happened, she probably needed a chance to blow off some steam.
私？気を使わなくていいわ。 こうして一人で研究できる方が気が楽なの。人間関係に煩わされずに済むから。
そんなものか。
Kursu had said similar things. Kursu. Huh.
それより本題に入りましょう。
That's right. I hadn't come all the way to Maho's lab to make small talk.
クリスに謝りたいとさっき言ったわよね。
あ
そのために私のところに来たと。
あ、そうだ。
なぜ？
一人じゃ話しづらいんだ。
それで私に仲裁をしてほしいと。
そういうことになる。
変な人ね、あなた。
Maho's reaction surprised me. Was I that weird?
最後に話した時に俺が動揺しすぎたのが悪いんだが、かなり強引に話を打ち切ってしまったんだ。クリスの性格を考えると確実に怒ってる、中途半端につながっている分、見えないプレッシャーで四六時中ビクビクしている身にもなってくれ。
Dr. Leskinen had been trying to help me out, but I would have felt better if he just stripped me of access.
そんなにびくつかなくてもクリスからは連絡しないようになっているわ。そう言ったでしょ。
そうなんだが、喧嘩別れみたいなことにもなりたくないんだ。
I never wanted to go through what I experienced in the Alpha World Line again. In that world line, I'd never been able to figure out what she was trying to tell me at the end. Oh yeah! Because before he sent the D-mail, she said something to him. I don't know if this is correct, but I think she said something along the lines of I love you to Okabe. I'm not for sure though. Huh.
まあいいわ。仲裁でも何でもするから要件を済ませてしまいなさいよ。
助かるよ。
せっかくのクリスマスイブなんだから少しは気の利いたことを言ってあげたらどう？
Why did the game quick save? Am I about to get to a save point? Am I about to get... No, this is too early for the save point, right? Yeah, this is too early.
ああ、そうだな。
Not that I had any idea what nice would be.
どうしたの？早くアクセスして。アプリのアイコンをタップするだけでいつでもつながるわ。アクセス権はちゃんと残してあるわよ。教授が前にそう説明したでしょ。めんどくさい人なのね。スマホとにらめっこしていても始まらないでしょ。
わかってる。そうせかさないでくれ。
Here we go.
まさかまた連絡してくるなんて。何よ、何なの？
That's one hell of a way to begin a talk. Oh, she totally wasn't expecting that.
いや。
どうも、岡部倫太郎さん。私に何か用でも？もう話したくないんじゃなかった？
いや、その。
My eyes glanced towards Maho for help.
クリス、彼から話があるから少しだけ聞いてあげて。
別に聞かないとは言ってませんよ。岡部さんは私とはもう会話を交わしたくないはずではと事実確認をしただけです。
She was mad. I knew it.
ほら、早くしなさいよ。
あ
I took a single deep breath and lifted up the phone.
悪かった
I bowed my head. I like the CG. I like the CG because Maho looks so just unamused by Okabe right now.
俺なんかに付き合ってくれていたのにお前のその親切を裏切るような形になってしまった。それにこの前最後に話した時急に会話を打ち切ってしまったのも失礼だったと思ってる。昔あった個人的なことを思い出して混乱してしまったんだ。でもそれはお前には関係ないことだよな。テスターを辞めさせてもらう前にせめて一言だけ謝りたかった。以上だ。
Kursu was chuckling the same way Maho had just done.
それ本気で言ってるの？
なんだよこっちが真面目に謝っているのに笑うなんて。
だって私は人工知能よ。なのにそんな神妙な顔して本気で謝ってくれるなんて。この前私と話すのが照れくさいとも言っていたわね。変わった人。
お
Was it weird to apologize to an AI and mean it? It probably was.
いいわ。正直ちょっと失望していたところだったんだけど考えを改める。こっちから出す交換条件を飲んでくれたら水に流す。
交換条件だって。
What was she going to make me do? I had a bad feeling about this.
わかった。その条件とやら聞こう。
今日これから真帆先輩をディナーに誘いなさい。
は
Maho's eyes and mine went wide.
ちょっとクリス、何を言い出すかと思えば。
今日は何の日かご存知ないんですか、先輩。
You clever bastard, Amadeus.
クリスマスイブ。
そういうことです。
どういうことよ。
さあ岡部さん、条件を飲むの？飲まないの？
Why did she look so excited?
わかったよ。ヒアジョさん、さっき話したパーティー正式に君を招待する。ぜひ来てほしい。
パーティー？
友達と集まってクリスマスパーティーをやるんだよ。
そうじゃないでしょうが。あ、いや、でもいきなり二人きりだとハードル高いし、逆にいいか。
Try to put the two together. Amadeus.
クリス、それ以上からかうと怒るわよ。私はパーティーなんて行かないわ。
Oh, come on. Don't deny it. You want to go, Maho.
だったら私も岡部さんを許しませんが。
ヒアジョさん、頼む。
どうしてこんな話になっているのよ。
先輩のために気を利かせてあげてるんじゃないですか。
あなたね。そもそも今日はこの後教授が帰ってくるのを待って研究の報告をしないといけないし。
ああ、リターロ、マホ。何の話かな？
Well, that's a first. That's a first. I don't think I've ever been jump scared by Leskinen. That's not even a jump scare. That's not even a jump scare. Damn it. Dr. Leskinen walked in at the perfect moment. Maho looked relieved and went to open the file on her desk.
おかえりなさい教授。これが今日集計したデータなんですが。
魔法スタップ。二人ともこれから出かけないかい？せっかくのクリスマスイブだ。仕事はもう終わりにして食事でも行こう。それとも制約があるのかな？
教授ナイス。
ん？
教授、俺の友達がクリスマスパーティーを開くんですが、よかったらご一緒に。
素晴らしい。ぜひ参加させてもらおう。
Yes! This is the direction I think it's going! Yes! I didn't even get to finish my sentence.
もちろん魔法も行くんだろう。
That was the moment when Maho's last hope of escape was cut off.
決まりですね。
まったく。
Kursu smiled mischievously from within the screen. She was quite the plotter. The real Kursu used to do silly things like this I'm gonna repeat that. The real Kursu used to do silly things like this too.
ねえ岡部。
Oh. When she called my name, I gasped.
私なんかに本気で謝ってくれてサンクス。嬉しかった。
いや。
気が向いたらまたいつでも話しかけてきて。暇つぶしぐらいには付き合うから。
気が向いたらな。
あ、
ええ。それじゃあまた。真帆先輩をよろしく。
クーリス満足したかしら。
ああ。
I felt more relieved than I thought I would. I realized that I really did love Makise Kursu.
でも人工知能に謝るのはそんなに変か？俺の友達、この前メイクインで紹介したあいつなんかいつも二次元の女の子に土下座してるぞ。
そういう精神性は私にはちょっと。
Uh-oh. That freaked her out. Bad example.
とにかくヒアジョさんのおかげで助かった。
クリスの交換条件なんか律儀に守る必要はないわよ。
まあでも教授も行く気満々みたいだし。
The professor flashed his white teeth at me.
それにクリスと約束したからさ。
And Maho was forced to go to the party.
あなた本当に変わっているわ。
But even as she said it, she was smiling. I guess she decided to go to the party. Ah, yes! Yes, 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 yes! And we're we're seeing a Suzuha. What the fuck?
鈴葉お姉ちゃん。
What the fuck? Hold on! What the fuck? You can't do this! You can't do this all of a sudden without any warning! What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't remember this! What the fuck?
世界を変えちゃいけないんだ。お姉ちゃんはおかしいこと言ってる。この世界を消すなんてダメだよ。絶対にやらせないから。
There were bullet marks on the inside of the time machine. What the fuck, man? You can't pull this all of a sudden without any warning! I'm sorry. This really took me off guard. Suzuha traced them with her fingers, and remembered what had happened here. That was the last time she had talked to Kagari. She'd never been able to find her after that.
鈴葉、どうしたん？ぼーっとして。もしかしてまだ体調悪い？
え？
Suzuha looked back and saw her father, Itaru. He seemed worried. He was holding a bolt in his hand and offering it to her.
ああ、ごめん。大丈夫。
She nodded and took the bolt. They were on the top of Radio Kaiken, where a cold wind was blowing. A light was shining down on the rear of the time machine, where the engine was. Her head was inside as she did maintenance work. Itaru was wandering around in the background. Normally, she would never let him near the time machine, but today he'd absolutely insisted on coming.
病み上がりの娘を心配しない親はいないっつーの。
Suzuha had spent the last several days unable to stand up because she hadn't taken care of herself. There was nothing she could say back to him.
なあ、時空間の転移とか重力制御とかヤバそうな装置は絶対にいじらないからさ。僕にも手伝わせてくんない？
ダメ。
機械のメンテなら多分鈴葉より僕の方が詳しいのだぜ。
それはわかってる。けどダメ。
Itaru slumped forward, dejected, but Suzuha had no intention of discussing it.
なあ鈴葉、今日はもう暗いしさ、寒いしさ、続きは明日にするべきだって。そろそろ帰ろう。
父さん一人で帰ればいい。私はまだやることがあるから。
今日もかがりたんを探すん？オカリンにも協力してもらえることになったんだからさ。鈴葉一人でそこまで無理しなくてもいいんじゃね？風邪治ったばっかりなんだし、しばらくはかがりたん探しはやめにすべき。
That made her feel a little mad.
それ、私に無断でオカリンおじさんに話してほしくはなかった。
Suzuha had told Itaru that she was spending every day looking for Kagari, but it was only later that she'd found out he told Rintaro. It wasn't a problem, but her relationship with Rintaro was already a bit strained, and this only made it harder for her to ask him to get back in the time machine. Get back in the time machine! God damn it, Okabe!
つうか、さっきからずいぶん苦戦してね。
締めにくい角度にボルトがあるんだ。
どれ？僕が変わろう。それくらいならいいっしょ。
うん。
Suzuha pulled her head out of the engine unit.
顔中油だらけじゃん。せっかくの美人が台無しだ。
そういうことは母さんに言ってあげなよ。
それはハードル高すぎ。
Itaru stuck his face inside the machine and began to look around.
ああ、この構造だと多分こっちのパイプを後からはめたんだな。先にパイプを外すといいよ。 パイプの中に冷却用の液体かなんかが通ってるはずだから、まずこっちのバルブを使って中を空にするわけ。
このマシンってメンテナンスのことをあんまり考慮に入れてないと思う。
まったくだお。すげえめんどくせえ。
Wapita. What is Wapita? Acronym for what a pain in the ass. Wapita. Oh man.
作ったの誰だと思ってるわけ？
僕。
Itaru sighed and started to concentrate on his work. He did his job silently, twisting his massive body to the left and right. Watching him, Suzuha remembered her childhood. When she was younger, she loved watching her dad make the time machine.
父さん、私、最近、なんだか自分でも自分が理解できなくなってきてさ。こんなこと考えるなんておかしいんだけど、この世界をなくしてしまって本当にいいのかなって。
Her mind flashed back to a young Kagari's screams. You can't erase this world, huh? She never forgotten the look in Kagari's eyes, and she'd never been able to shake the feeling that they were watching her, somehow.
私のミッションが成功するとさ、マキセ・クリスは死なずにシュタインズゲートへの門が開くんだ。そしたら今のこの世界、父さんも母さんもまゆ姉さんもルミ姉さんもオカリンおじさんもみんななかったことになってしまう。今の私が今の父さんに会ったこともなくなってしまう。
これって告白シーン？セーブしとくべきとこ
Suzuha said nothing, and poked her dad's calf with her toes.
真面目な話をしてるんだ。今度ふざけたら蹴るよ。
迷ってるのか？
Wow, I was expecting a joke. I was actually expecting a joke.
まあ、そのなんだ。別にいいんじゃね？今が消えてもいいんじゃね？だって、この先、人が大勢死ぬんだろ？そんなの嫌じゃん。
父さん。
鈴葉はいろいろと考えすぎだお。戦争なんて嫌だ。だから世界を変えるんだ。そのくらい単純でいいと違うん？つうかさ、僕戦争なんて行きたくないし、鈴葉と違ってこんな人間だから、戦場なんかに連れて行かれたら3日も持たないね。
Well, you kind of lasted about over 20-ish years, so you might be fine. Well, more like 15-ish. Yeah, more like 15-ish.
だらしないな。幻滅だよ。
Suzuha sighed, turned around, and started to walk away.
あれ、どこ行くん？
顔、洗ってくる。油でベタベタだ。そのボルト閉めたら、カバーも閉じておいてくれる？父さんの言う通り、今日はかがりを探すのはやめておくよ。
お、それがいいよ。一緒に帰ろう。
Suzuha looked up at the moon, shining in the... I'm gonna repeat this line. Suzuha looked up at the moon, shining in the cloudy winter sky. She let out a puff of white breath. The white breath danced in the air for a moment, and then disappeared into the cold.
父さん、
ん？
幻滅とか嘘だから。父さんは銃を持って戦争をする人じゃない。未来でもそうだった。いつも逃げ回るのが仕事。
未来の僕、ダメ人間すぎる。
けどそれでいいんだ。父さんには別の戦いがあるし、そのために私たちがついてるんだから。
鈴葉。
だから父さんこそ変に頑張ろうとしないで。日本は安全だなんて思い込みは捨てること。この前オカリンおじさんだって襲われたんだ。いつ父さんが標的になってもおかしくない。戦争前夜なんだよ、今はね。
For about 2 weeks now, someone had been watching Suzuha and the time machine. It was clear that some great power was on the move.
Okie dokie.
I feel like in this route, the dread of World War III is much more relevant than in the previous one. Just the whole sense of the, oncoming World War III that's going to happen very soon in the, Steins Gate Zero timelines. Like, that underlying dread is there throughout the entire, this entire route so far. Even though in the previous route, there was a lot of references to World War III, especially in Promise Arena Cimento, but the way it's presented here in not Absolute Zero, hold on. X-Day Protocol, yeah. In X-Day Protocol, the way it's presented definitely shows a lot more of the, oncoming dread that World War III will have. I have to say I'm really liking this route so far, because it's a lot more darker than the other one, because the other one seemed a little bit lighter, though not as lighter. And this seems a little bit more darker, but not super dark? I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. But all I'm saying is, the dread of World War III is a lot more here in these routes compared to the route I was on earlier. Suzuha nodded, satisfied at Itaru's answer, and went to the bathroom to wash her face. And we're back to Okabe. Hey! Hold on, I want to see the lab in Christmas mode. Oh man. It looks clean. Actually, this is the first time the lab actually seems a little bit clean. And also, I love how the Upa has the Santa hat on. I love that. But yeah, it's so weird seeing the lab clean for once. The lab was filled with Santas, just like I heard on the phone. And all of them were wearing miniskirts. I love the Santa cat ears that Ferris is wearing.
来たにゃ来たにゃ。準備はバッチリですよ。どうもメリクリです。オカリンさん、こんばんは。
おう。
The sight of so many girls in a small room like this, all wearing Santa miniskirts, threatened to overwhelm me. Aww. I was having trouble deciding where to look when Lukako staggered in front of me.
Okabe-san.
Lukako.
Holy shit. What are you wearing, man? I didn't expect Santa in black. And wasn't he exposing an awful lot of skin? It was really erotic. But he's a guy!
Okabe-san. 僕。
ルカ子。なんていうか。お疲れ。
It must have been hard being the only guy. I gave him a pat on the shoulder, and he smiled, relieved.
私もサンタ服着たかったな。じゃあ来年はなえちゃんの分も作ってあげるね。
Wait, wasn't Nai wearing a Santa uniform in the anime? Hold on. Yeah, I think they had Nai wear one in the anime, if I'm correct. Nope, she wasn't. She wasn't. For some reason I thought she was. Hold on, I need to find a better picture. Well, okay, I'm getting some spoilers with this. Hold on, I should stop. Wait, no, she was wearing one! With a Maho. Yeah, she did wear a Santa uniform with Maho for that creepy picture. Yeah, for the creepy picture that they took. So, Nai did wear one in the anime for, scene with her and Maho. A creepy picture scene.
本当？うん。ありがとう、もやりお姉ちゃん。えへへ。さあ、オカリ、入って入って。
ダルと鈴葉は？
まだ連絡ないんだ。
The biggest goal today was to get Suzuha to participate. It was no exaggeration to say that's why Mary had held this party.
ちなみに、オカリンのお客様は？
I told them earlier that I was bringing Dr. Leskinen and Maho. I brought the two of them inside.
紹介する。レスキネン教授だ。
Merry Christmas!
おお。あら。おっきい。
ありがとう、キュートなお嬢さん。
でもお父さんの方がおっきい。
それともう一人、ティア城真帆さんだ。
どうも、はじめまして。
The tall Leskinen versus the small Maho.
おお。あら。マホニャン、また会ったにゃ。あら、ニャンニャンの人。小学生？中学生？
Yes, I was waiting for this.
これでも成人しているのよ。ごめんなさい。
Poor Maho. Maho's smile froze on her face.
なゆりちゃん、どう思う？二人とも逸材だよ。マユシーは妄想がはかどります。
Oh.
なえちゃんの分も含めて小さめのサイズを用意しておけばよかった。マユシー、一生の不覚だよ。
Well, in the anime, you didn't make that mistake.
そのリトルサンタコンビは、見たかったな。だよね。
Mary had her in her sights, then. Oh, had her in her sights. Oops, sorry. Had her in her sights. I didn't read a word. There was no escape for Maho now. Mary was stubborn. She'd even managed to convince the legendarily shy Lukako.
教授先生の方は？あの身長に合うコスは作ったことないよ。存在だけですでに勝ちだけどね。もふもふトナカイさんの着ぐるみを着てもらいたいかも。赤鼻もつけて。
I would love to see that.
それ れはどうかな。
Wait, were they seriously going to dress the professor up as a reindeer?
まゆり、誰も彼もコスプレ趣味を理解してくれるとは思わない方がいいぞ。
あ、うん、そうだね。無理強いするのは良くないよね。でも最近はコンビニなんかでもクリスマスには店員さんがサンタさんの格好をしていますよ。コミマとクリスマスだと性質はだいぶ違いますよね。
Or so you say. But basically, you want to dress the two of them up in Santa outfits, don't you?
というわけで、マホさん、サンタ服よかったらマユシーのを貸しましょうか。
Mayuri was already going after her. Maho refused as forcefully as she could, but Dr. Leskinen was surprisingly interested. He had been trying to put on a triangular paper party hat.
お、タルくんから連絡来たよ。もうすぐ作って、すずさんと一緒。
Mayuri was looking at her smartphone. It looked like Daru had pulled it off. I guess he really was Suzuha's dad. This meant that we succeeded in our biggest objective, which meant it was on to the next mission. We'd all decided that we were going to surprise Suzuha. Suzuha didn't know that we were all waiting for her. We each grabbed a noisemaker and got into position. Dr. Leskinen and Maho helped too. Maho seemed unsure, but Dr. Leskinen was more than willing to participate.
電気を消すにゃ。すずさん、喜んでくれるかな。すずはさんのびっくりした顔なんてなかなか見られないもんね。でも実はとっても甘いもの好きなのにゃ。それにとても親切なんですよ。この前、挨拶したら返してくれたよ。へえ、私ももっとすずはさんと仲良くできたらいいな。なれるよ。きっと大丈夫。相性はぴったりだよ。
A lot more perfect than what anyone would expect. And then we heard Daru's voice from outside the window, in the alley below the building.
よし、中へ入るぞ。鈴葉と一緒に中へ入るぞ。
His voice was loud and unnaturally expository. Once he got below the lab, he was supposed to give a signal. Everything was going as planned. We all went shh at each other in the darkness. I could hear two sets of footsteps coming up the stairs. And all of a sudden, a group of armed men run into the room. Everyone held their breath and waited. The timing was critical. But would she be able to figure it out before we acted? The room was filled with different smells, like the girl's perfume and the aroma of the food they'd made. Didn't Suzuha always notice these things more quickly than an ordinary person would? I started to get worried. And then I heard the sound of the door opening.
あれ、今日は誰も来てないんだね。
そういう日もあるよ。
That voice crack! Daru, you idiot! Your voice is shaking! I got even more nervous. Was it time yet? Where was the signal? I felt like my hands were going to slip and trigger the noisemaker too early. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Pause. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to criticize something real quick. This is probably a criticism that I probably made while watching the anime, but this was the criticism I just thought of now. Even though I probably thought up of it a few years ago. Suzuha fought in wars in the future. She fought in wars in the future. Why did they think using noisemakers was a good idea? Mayuri is aware of World War III. Okabe is aware of it. Daru is aware of it. Ferris is aware of it. Why do they think using noisemakers as a surprise for Suzuha was a good idea? I'm sorry, but noisemakers make a loud popping noise. And I don't know too much. Like, I might be wrong about this, but I don't think that's a great idea to use a noisemaker towards someone who had fought in a war before most of the time. I don't think that's a great idea to use noisemakers to surprise someone who fought in a war. But, of course, everyone's different, so maybe, but also at the same time, they probably should have thought of that before they went with this plan! My palms were soaked with sweat. I could tell Suzuha was taking off her shoes. Ferris gave the signal. The second the lights went on, we all activated our noisemakers. I could see Suzuha flinch for just an instant. But I couldn't follow what happened after that. That's how fast she was. Yep. Using noisemakers was a horrible idea. She dropped down, sprung off the floor, and leapt toward Yuki, who happened to be standing in front of her. She might have broken Yuki's jaw with the base of her palm before I could shout at her to stop. Fortunately, Yuki had been surprised by Suzuha's sudden charge, and had slipped when she tried to step back. Because of this, Suzuha's palm barely missed Yuki's nose as it sliced through the air. By the time I'd finally shouted, it was all over. Suzuha had grabbed Yuki before she fell down, and was holding her up. Yuki, Suzuha, and all the rest of us were too stunned to speak. That was close. Yeah, pause again. Why did you think this was a good idea? I'm sorry, but pulling a surprise party for Suzuha, of all people, why did you think that was a good idea? Like, okay, holding a party for Suzuha is not bad. Like, that's not bad. That's a really good thing. And it kind of had to be a slight surprise party because, well, she probably would have not came if she knew there was going to be a party. But, why use noisemakers? Why use noisemakers? As soon as she walks in the room, like, why would you pull that off? I'm sorry, but noisemakers, it's just not a good idea, especially when, the person you're trying to surprise fought in battles with guns! If the timing of events had been even slightly different, Yuki could have been badly hurt.
Stop da niya! Merry Christmas da yo!
Everyone finally realized what had happened and began to panic. Yuki simply lay in Suzuha's arms, blinking her eyes. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god! You know, that is my favorite Daru face. I don't know why, but that is my favorite Daru face. Like, for Daru in the Steins games, they give him the best reaction faces. Daru has the best reaction faces in the CGs. If I were to be fully honest, he has the best reaction CGs. Oh my god. This one's my favorite so far. This one's my favorite. Suzuha seemed to snapped back into reality. She was looking around at everyone.
だからメリークリスマスだよ、すずさん。メリークリスマス。そう。びっくりした。すごい動きだったわね。僕、早すぎて見えませんでした。ユキさん、大丈夫
Suzuha was looking around the room. Did she still not understand what was going on? Did she not realize it was a party, since she'd never been to one before? The walls and ceiling were covered in wreaths and ribbons. There was a folding table filled with food, cakes, snacks, and drinks.
パーティー？ごめんなさい。びっくりさせようって言い出したのは私なんです。
Yuki backed away from Suzuha and started to bow apologetically.
すずは、これはなんつうかサプライズってやつを演出してみたわけで、みんな決して悪気があったりとかじゃなくって。すずは？
父さん、兄さんも知ってたの？
うん。
そっか。だから今日はなんか変だったんだ。ごめんね、すずさん。企画したのはマユシーなんだよ。だからユキさんやダルくんを怒らないで。怒るならマユシーにして。やだな、マユ姉さん。私そんなにいつも怒ってる？
Suzuha looked around the room again.
すごいね。いつものラボとは思えないや。でしょ？みんなで飾り付けしたんだよ。本当にすごい。綺麗だ。
Suzuha laughed half-heartedly and began backing toward the door.
どこ行くの？どこって、マユ姉さんたちパーティーするんでしょ？
For you, Suzuha! They're having it for you, girl! Stay!
邪魔しちゃ悪いからさ。もう、兄さんってば気が利かないよな。こんなところに私がいても仕方ないじゃないか。そんなことないにゃん。一緒にやろうにゃ、パーティー。でも私こういうのしたことないし。楽しくご飯食べたりおしゃべりしたりするだけだよ。だからね。
Mayuri grabbed Suzuha's hand tightly to keep her from getting away.
マユ姉さん？
ほら、すずはの席もちゃんと用意できてるのだぜ。
けど本当にどうしたらいいのか私。
いいから座れっつーの。
すずさん。
Barry half dragged Suzuha over to the seat next to me and forced her to sit down.
はいはい、皆さん、これで全員揃ったにゃん。はい、拍手拍手。
Everybody started to applaud at Fubuki's signal. Daru played some Christmas carols on the computer. The grim atmosphere that had begun to fill the room was banished. I felt a little relieved.
それじゃあ、まず乾杯をするにゃ。グラスに好きな飲み物を注いでにゃ。
Everybody started to look at the various drinks on the table.
ほら、鈴葉。
Suzuha still looked like she was feeling as though she didn't belong, so I poured her some non-alcoholic champagne.
やっぱり り私無理だよ、こういうの。
Also, I like how they clarified non-alcoholic champagne because... Is it because they have nine there, they didn't get any alcohol? Or wait, hold on. What's the age of drinking in Japan? 20 years old. Wow, 20 years old. That's the age of drinking in Japan. I thought it was 18. I thought it was actually 18. Huh. So the age of drinking in Japan is 20 years old. I'm actually surprised by that. I didn't know the age of drinking was 20 in Japan. Interesting. Interesting.
なんで？
だって遊ぶためにこの時代へ来たわけじゃない。
The reason she came to this era? Huh. I didn't have the right to say anything about that. I was the only reason that she was stuck here, unable to fulfill her task. But even so.
たまにはいいじゃないか。
でも
鈴葉は考えすぎだっつーの。
Daru joined the conversation.
みんなとご飯食べるだけだって。どのみちお腹は空いてるっしょ。
それは
Maybe Daru's statement caused her to realize it, because her stomach rumbled.
うん。
ほれ見ろ。みんながいろいろ作ってくれたんだから、ありがたくいただけばいいんだって。
みんな飲み物の用意はいいかにゃ。それでは今回のパーティーを企画したまゆし、一言どうぞにゃ。
Mary stood up, flustered. As she stood, she bumped into Lukako, who was standing next to her. The two of them almost spilled their drinks.
うわー、ルカ君ごめんね。まゆりちゃん落ち着いて。
Mary started to take deep breaths.
今日はクリスマスイブなのです。
Indeed.
どこもリア充さんでいっぱいだけど、今年は両親たちにパーティーをしてリア充さんになろう。
You know, I would expect Daru to say this and not Mayuri, but of course this is on character for Mayuri as well.
いや、それリア充の意味が違うと思うな、まゆし。
Fubuki whispered, a little sad.
ふぶきちゃん、何人もの後輩ちゃんからクリスマスデートに誘われたのよね。それはもう熱烈に。全員女の子の後輩だけどね。とにかくみんなが楽しんでくれればまゆしーは嬉しいな。終わりです。
Mary gave a little bow and smiled to Suzuha. Suzuha answered with an expression that wasn't quite a smile.
それじゃあ乾杯するにゃ。まほにゃん、温度よろしくにゃ。私？せっかく来てくれたんやから自己紹介も兼ねてよろしくにゃ。
Maho stood up with a slight frown and thought for a moment before she opened her mouth.
今日は皆さんの集まりに招待してくれてありがとう。私とレスキネン教授はアメリカ在住なので、こうして日本でクリスマスを迎えるのは初めてです。こういう友人同士での賑やかなクリスマスもとてもいいものだと。何か面白いこと言ってみゃ。はい、面白いことにゃ。
Ferris, you're crazy. Uh-oh. She was totally losing it. She was worse than Mayuri had been a moment. she was worse than Mayuri had been a moment ago. It was hard to believe I'd seen her interpreting in front of that huge crowd. Oh my god, hold on. Hold on. Whew. I'm stumbling as much as Maho. How? It was hard to believe I'd seen her interpreting in front of that huge crowd at ATF. Was she bad at ad-libbing? Maho's desperate attempt at something interesting was cute, but honestly a little embarrassing. It felt like watching a small, adorable animal.
うおー、マホニャン、猫耳メイドの素質があるにゃん。うんうん、マホリンニャンニャン誕生の瞬間だね。
Mahorin! Ferris and Mayuri were the only ones who seemed really impressed.
私ったら何を言っているのかしら。
And Leskinen is watching with amusement.
ヒアジョーさん、そろそろ乾杯を。
そうね、そうするわ。それじゃあ、乾杯！乾杯！
I was a little off. Everybody happily clinked their glasses together. Since I was the one who invited Maho to the party, I decided to cheer her up.
面白い乾杯の挨拶だったよ。
自己嫌悪だわ。
何を言うんだい、クールなキャットだったじゃないか。
I knew Leskinen would be amused.
マホニャン、いつからメイクインで働いてくれるにゃ？そんなつもりはないから。
Ferris and Dr. Leskinen were both enjoying trying to make her feel better.
すずさん、乾杯だよ。すずはさん、私も。あ、うん。
Suzuha still had a somber look on her face, but Mayuri, Yuki, and Daru forced her into a toast.
はい、すずさん。これ、マユシーが作ったんだよ。
Mary put a piece of quiche on a plate and gave it to Suzuha. I think I pronounced that right. When Suzuha took a bite, her expression began to shine.
おいしい。ほんと？うん。もっと食べて。どんどん食べて。そんな一度に食べられないよ。あ、そう？
Next, Mary offered the quiche to Maho and the professor.
マホさんとレスキネンさんもどうぞ。ありがとう。
おいしい。これはおいしいですね。
えへへ。じゃあこちらもどうぞ。エビグラタンとあとフライドチキンはエスニック風にしてみました。
Excellent!
Excellent!
凝っているんですね。
Yuki went around and offered everyone something to eat. But she couldn't bring herself to offer any to Suzuha. Mary kept motioning for her to go over, but Yuki just kept fidgeting. Maybe she was thinking about it too much. But Suzuha kept devouring all the food that Mary and Yuki had prepared, and gushing over each dish. The two of them had been practicing their cooking for about a month here in the lab. I guess it paid off.
あ、ケーキもあるよ。楓さんがデコレーションしてくれたんだ。あんまり上手にできなかったけど許してね。楓さんって不吉祥さんだもんね。でもそんな楓さんが萌えだよ。ちっとも褒められてる気がしないわ。
Everyone laughed. Then, about an hour after we started eating, when she saw that everyone had eaten enough food, Ferris clapped her hands together loudly to draw everyone's attention.
さてさて、皆さん、盛り上がってきたところで、そろそろプレゼント交換をしたいと思うんだにゃ。
Every kitty. Every kitty. The cat speech of Ferris is probably like one of the peak moments of all of her dialogue. Though, of course, there's a lot of peak moments in Ferris's dialogue, especially with her stories. But I think the cat speech is like one of the things that makes Ferris Ferris. Yeah, I really love how the translation also puts in the cat speech as well. Like, the translation for the cat speech is top notch. Top notch.
私たち、間に合わせのものしか用意できなかったけど。
Maho and the professor had stopped at a donkey Zote? Zote? Donkey Zote? Correct me in the comments if I mispronounce that. Maho and the professor had stopped at a donkey Zote on their way from Wako City and spent just 10 minutes picking out presents.
大丈夫、それでバッチリだにゃ。私、持ってきてない。
鈴葉の分は僕とマユシで準備してきたお。
マユシーが選びました。そうなんだ。ごめん。
気にしなくていいのだぜ。
いいのだぜ。
Mayuri mimicked Daru's words as she pulled out 2 small, wrapped parcels from her bag and put them on the table. They both had the same wrapping as the one Daru was holding. They must have bought them at the same place. Mayuri had already explained to me Operation 2. Mayuri's plan for the evening was not only to make Suzuha smile, but to bring Yuki and Daru a little closer together.
プレゼント交換の方法なんだけど、いろいろ考えて結局くじ引きにしたにゃ。
Ferris gathered together everyone's presents and put little stickers with numbers on them.
にゃんにゃにゃん。
And then she lifted a bundle of disposable chopsticks above her head.
これはマユシーが今夜王様ゲームをやろうとして持ってきたものだにゃ。ああ、言わないでよ、ベリスちゃん。
おいマユリ、王様ゲームっていうのは合コンの時とかにするもんだぞ。
分かってるよ、ちょっと勘違いしただけだもん。
女の子から命令されるのって僕は大好物だけどね。
橋田さん、本当に変態さんですね。
The disappointment in Fubuki's voice.
ということで、マユシーがちょっと勘違いしちゃったこの割り箸をくじ引き用に使わせてもらうにゃ。引いた番号のプレゼントをゲットできるのにゃ。
Sorry, there was some hair was getting trapped in my eye. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was getting trapped in my eyelid. Oh my god. Yeah, don't you hate it when your hair does that? It gets trapped in underneath your eyelid. I don't even know how it did that. Ferris loudly shuffled all the chopsticks, and then went around to everyone so they could draw one. She was also part of Mayuri's plan. In fact, Mayuri and Ferris were sending signals to each other with eye contact and with their fingers. While everyone was focusing on the chopsticks, they were busy relabeling Yuki and Daru's presents. They were so obvious about it that I started getting nervous that Yuki would find out.
みんな、聞いたかにゃ。それじゃあ、プレゼントを渡すにゃ。中身を見るのはみんなに行き渡ってからにゃぞ。ワクワクしますね。何が当たるかな。
Ferris and Mayuri passed out the presents according to the numbers that everyone drew. Once the presents were handed out, everyone started to take off the wrapping paper. Nai was the first to react, as she gave out a very strange cry. Inside her box was a skull face.
それかっこいいでしょ。ベルトのバックルだよ、ナイちゃん。学校につけていったらきっと人気者だと思うな。
I don't think that's Nai's style.
ありがとう。
Poor Nai. Lukuko, you terrified her. I was feeling bad for Nai, but when I took out my own present...
誰だこれは。
Oh, the box had a cute design. And inside it looked like a see-through white veil. The veil was decorated here and there with little pink ribbons. This can't be a...
ん？ああ、オカリンさんのところへ行ったか。
What is it, Fubuki?
そのままマユシーにプレゼントしてあげるといいよ。
そんなことできるか。
オカリンさんのためなら喜んで来てくれるって。
どうしてそういう話になるんだ。
なになに？マユシーがどうかしたの？
Mary heard her own name and came over.
それって何かな？ベビードールだよ、マユシ。しかも超可愛くてセクシーなやつ。
Oh my god. Oh my god, I knew it was something to do with lingerie. What is baby doll? A type of lingerie worn by women, notable for its wide hem that fluffs out. Baby doll lingerie.
そんなわけにはいかないだろ
それならオカリンさんが自分で来てもいいんですよ。
Oh?
う。これは返す。いくらでも自分で楽しんでくれ。
I pushed the baby doll lingerie back into Fubuki's hands.
じゃあこっちと交換します？
Fubuki handed me her present in exchange. The wrapping and lid had already been removed. I took a quick look inside. Sexy pink shorts and a pink bra. They were see-through. Why is everyone buying see-through clothes? Come on, guys.
それ私が持ってきたプレゼントです。まゆりちゃんに着てもらえるなら嬉しいです。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Fubuki and Kaede had their own plans for Okabe and Mayuri, while Mayuri and Okabe and Ferris had plans for Yuki and Daru. Oh man! You know, this is actually really funny. And I bet Ferris knew of this too, I bet Ferris knew of this.
君たちにはそういう発想しかないのか。
マユシーはもうオカリンからプレゼントもらったからいいよ。
Mary had drawn my present, perhaps because we were childhood friends? By the way, I'd chosen a huge chunk of chocolate in the shape of a gold bar. The kind of thing you find in a Donkey Ziote bargain bin.
オカリンさんさ、もうちょっとなんかなかったの？
うるさいな。パーティーではこういうのがウケるって雑誌に書いてあったんだ。
いや、これはないわ。うん。ないわね。
なんだって。
Not even a chance? The magazine said it was a sure thing!
マユ 本当にいい子ね。よしよし。
Fubuki and Kaede were patting Mayuri's head, half out of sympathy and half because she was cute. Somehow, I end up as the bad guy.
じゃあ、次は私が開けてみますね。
Yuki started to open her present. She took out a cute wooden music box. When she opened the lid, there was a little tin figure that danced.
すごいかわいい。素敵ね。ロマンティックです。いいな。
The girls all seemed really impressed. But Lukaku was a guy. It definitely looked like something a woman would enjoy receiving. With as many girls as there were coming to this party, it might have been the perfect choice. Wait, maybe I should have brought something like that. But then I realized that the idea had never even occurred to me.
これ、一体誰からのものにゃ？
Ferris, you're making it too obvious.
あ、僕。
Daru reluctantly raised his hand.
うわあらまあ、ダルおじさん、すごいね。
Nai calls Daru uncle? Huh.
やるね、兄さん。
Suzuha likes. Everyone, except Mary and Ferris, who knew about it in advance, raised their voices in surprise.
これ、橋田さんなんですね。
どうかな。マユシからアドバイスしてもらって選んだだけなんだけどさ。
素敵。ありがとうございます。大切にしますね。
Yuki held the music box close to her chest. She seemed really happy.
お、
And then, her expression turned confused as she looked down into the box. Then, she started to fidget.
ごめんなさい。私、ちょっと。
She hurried off toward the washroom, still holding the box. She must have seen the trick. According to what Mayuri had told me earlier, there was a fake letter from Daru himself taped to the bottom of the box. It was something like a love letter, along with an invitation to a movie date. I wondered how she was reacting. Meanwhile, Daru had also opened his own present, and he looked a little bothered. He'd been given Ferris's present. Until he'd opened it, he looked really happy, but now he'd gone completely silent. According to Mayuri, he was going to get a pair of movie tickets. And even though it was a present from Ferris, the tickets came with instructions to use them for a date with Yuki. Ferris responded to Daru's questioning gaze with a wink. "Gluttnia," she seemed to be saying. For her part, Ferris received some kind of strange doll that Maho had bought at the Donkey's Yote. Lukaku's present was a miniature remote-controlled helicopter that Dr. Leskinen had purchased. And Dr. Leskinen got a set of 12 cute little crayons from Nai. Suzuha's present was a pair of handmade gloves. Yuki had evidently made them herself. She put them on, looking happy, but maybe a little lonely, and smiled.
鈴葉、よかったじゃん。
っていうか、兄さんは何が当たったの？
これ。
Daru realized he'd been set up, and he was clearly avoiding looking at her. Suzuha seemed to understand, and patted him on the back with a gentle expression on her face.
いいんじゃない？行ってきなよ。
なんだお鈴葉まで。
You too, Suzuha? it too.
だって2人を見てるとじれったいからさ。
けどリアルでデートなんかしたことないし。
母さんもそうらしいよ。
え、そうなん？
うん。
そっか。
Yuki came back from the bathroom. She seemed to be having trouble walking straight. She sat back in her seat, but began to nervously nibble on snacks at the table. And once in a while, she would take a look at Daru. For now, the movie ticket plans seemed to be going well. Staring too much could tip her off, so I should probably pretend I didn't know anything.
マユシーが用意したオルゴールは真帆さんに言ったんだね。
Aww. Mary raised her voice when she saw the music box in Maho's hand. It was shaped like a deformed bear, and when you wound it up, its hands and legs would jerk back and forth as it played a tune. It was a very different design than the one Yuki had received.
いいのかしら。こんな素敵なものをいただいてしまって。いいですよ。どうぞどうぞ。どんな音聞きたい。そうですね。僕も聞いてみたいです。
Maho started to wind it up. As she wound it, Kaede turned off the music in the background.
じゃあ。
It's going to be a Yuki song, isn't it? Called it! Called it! Maho took her hand off the winding key, and the mechanical, yet gentle sound that was unique to music boxes began to play. I would love a music box that played this sort of song. I'm gonna be honest here. I would love this sort of music box. I don't know. I find music boxes very cool. I'm gonna be honest here. I find music boxes really cool. So in the future, if I was ever gifted a music box, I would be screaming hell yeah, because music boxes are fucking cool. The lively atmosphere of the lab was replaced with a feeling of calmness and peace. We listened quietly to the sound of the music box.
マユシーね。この曲大好きなんだ。僕もです。ポカポカした気持ちになるね。そうね。あ、そうか。この曲だ。
Suzuha stood up, as if she suddenly remembered something.
ユキさん、ほら、覚えてない？はい？
Yuki was spacing out so hard that she started to panic when Suzuha spoke to her.
私が寝込んでた時、ユキさんがここで歌ってたよね。ああ、そういえば。うん、確かにこの曲だよ。
Suzuha seemed to be remembering something as her eyes narrowed.
ねえ、まゆ姉さん、これ、なんていう曲？これは。
Mayuri was about to speak, and then... What? Out of nowhere, the world twisted. What the fuck? I moaned in pain as an incredible sense of wrongness flooded through me. The whole lab seemed to twist and fade, and the happy party I had been experiencing warped and waved like a mirage. It couldn't be! No! Somewhere far away, I heard something that sounded like a violent crash. I was just barely able to move my eyes in the direction it came from, and I saw Fubuki falling to the floor as she knocked over a table. What? Hold on. Fubuki? What's going on with Fubuki? Kaede and Ferris ran over to her, calling her name. But it all looked so blurred, like I was watching a movie underwater, and everything was moving so slow. Their voices were getting further and further away. No matter how much I stretched out my hand, it reached no one and touched nothing. It was a terrible feeling, as if space and time were being torn apart, and even matter itself was losing its subjectivity. This feeling, even if I didn't want to remember it, I knew what this awful feeling was. I knew it far better than I had ever wanted. This was reading Steiner. Oh shit! Okabe did nothing and reading Steiner activated. He did absolutely nothing! X-Day Protocol. Pandora's Box. Pandora of Eternal Return. Huh. Interesting. I wonder where this is going to be going. Actually, I have no clue where this is going to be going, so I'm getting really excited. Like, this is a different path, so I'm not expecting to see Kurisu again. But I don't know where this is going either way still, though. I'm really liking this path right now, though. I might be liking this path a little bit more than the other path that I went on. I don't know. I think this path is a lot better. Though, of course, I like the other path just the same. It's just that this path, to me, really seems to be, you know, the one that I'm having more fun reading. I'm not sure why, though. I'm just having more fun reading this part than the other parts. Huh. But anyways, that's all I have for this time, and let's see where the plot brings us on our path to Gehenna Stigma, the Leskinen ending.
Okay.